That's why we shouldn't put tables at these chairs. Thanks, Justin.
You have a label of Spirit Life? Is that what you're calling it? Yeah, look at that. I see it, really.
It's coming through.
That's a little optimistic, man. That's a little optimistic. Yeah.
We got to figure that one out.
We still need more chairs. I'm gonna make sure I clap.
And again.
Not stopping.
They don't have a,
This is a better head table than that one. Yes, yes. That's good because you are part of the.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Lee, can you hear me? Do you need me to change anything? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Ottawa University is the best place on earth. There's no place like home. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Oh no. I would make your eardrums bleed for sure.
Right. Hey, do me a favor, guys. Get up from your seat, shake someone's hand, and I'm hungry. Truth be told, I'm hungry. And you guys got other stuff to do the rest of the afternoon, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. I would go and get something to eat. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Thanks. Hey, Coach.
Yeah, I know. I said that's what I got to get. There is, yeah, there is, but it still does like remote and so I couldn't find anything. It's like 100 miles. I think I did 50 miles. And one of them wasn't even the correct job. It's like managing Chick-fil-A. By the way, still not free. But, you know.
As we developed the Small College Basketball Alumni Association, we decided there was an award that we needed to give called the Lifetime Achievement Award. Let me read you the criteria for that award. The Lifetime Achievement Award for the Small College Basketball Alumni Association is presented each year to an individual who has demonstrated a continuous commitment to small college basketball, including measurable, lasting, and sustained leadership and service, as well as an impact on the game over a career or a lifetime. The Lifetime Achievement Award is presented each year at the Small College Basketball's celebration of the game. Please direct your attention to the board and we'll find out who our winner is. I want to congratulate John Hudson on becoming the first Lifetime Achievement Award winner for small college basketball. I first met John about 47 years ago in Oklahoma when he was the assistant coach at Oklahoma Baptist University. John was an excellent recruiter with a dynamic personality, and of course Oklahoma Baptist had a great program. After his years as assistant coach at Oklahoma Baptist, he became the first head coach at a new program at the University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma.
You know, you probably influenced my life more than anybody. You're the reason why I've been able to have the career I've had. So if I've had any success, it's largely because of what you were able to do for me way back in the early.
For the sake of time, we went ahead, but let me invite our chaplain, Chaplain John, to come and give the invocation and hopefully bring a greeting, because, you know, it's not often that we get to see our chaplain. But chaplain, good to see you. Come on over.
Yes, that's what I need. All right. Get a mid-swallow if you need to. Great thing has happened when God mixes with us. Let's say a prayer. God of work and play, we invoke your presence as we assemble to break bread and share soul food. We thank you for those who work to fill our plates and broaden our perspectives today, for inspiration afforded through the Owen Leadership Institute's programming and the contributions of tangible kingdom building and the work of Mr. Hudson. May all emerge from this meal with full bellies and full hearts, with minds well fueled by your grace, eager to find ways to be more tangible in doing your will. We ask this in Jesus' name, and the people say, amen.
All right, we'll just let you eat a little bit, then I'll come back and I'll introduce. Make sure you've had enough food. All right, Reverend. Having enough food? All right, good.
Early 70s, when you gave me the opportunity to play on your team. I don't know if you really needed me to play, but you let me be a member of your team and play on your team, which led me to a career here at USL, and I've been here for close to 40 years, and that's largely because of you giving me that opportunity to play basketball here and earn my degree.
John was the first basketball coach and brought this institution from nothing in terms of intercollegiate athletics to having, in only his second year, a very competitive team. In fact, I think he was given the NAIA District 9 Coach of the Year award back in his second year here. Not only did he help us with initiating athletics at USAO, but he also was instrumental in helping us to create a physical plant that was supportive of the field house, that was supportive of basketball and now other related sports.
John was also a student at the University of Oklahoma Law School, and when he graduated, he gave up coaching to become a lawyer. About that same time, several of the small colleges in Oklahoma set about to form a new conference, the Sooner Athletic Conference. I was elected the president of that conference, and I had to come up with a commissioner for that conference. So I called up John and I said, John, we need a commissioner. How about you doing it? I also need someone to write a constitution and bylaws, and as an attorney, you should be able to do that. And if you'll become commissioner, John, we'd love to have you, but there's one thing: we won't be able to pay you. Well, John accepted that role as the commissioner of the Sooner Athletic Conference. He kept that position for 38 years.
My name is Dan Hayes, and I've been a small college basketball coach in the state of Oklahoma since 1975. My last 33 years as a head coach, I was at Oklahoma Christian University, and John Hudson was our commissioner of the Sooner Athletic Conference. We just call John the commish. He's one of the most important basketball people in the state of Oklahoma, definitely at the small college level, but obviously at all levels of basketball.
2 years ago, he gave up his role as commissioner, but kept his role as the supervisor of officials, and today he still assigns the officials for basketball for the Sooner Athletic Conference.
John has helped me personally with 3 books I've written on Oklahoma Baptist University basketball. He's also helped me with a lot of other projects and has been a true friend. John has been a supporter of and good friend of our coaches and our players through the years, and he is a true friend that you can count on. John, I congratulate you on this significant honor.
Hi, I'm Doug Tolan. I have known John Hudson for a long time and actually coached 15 years in his league, the Sooner Athletic Conference. John was a huge help to a young coach going into that league. I quickly figured out that the league was full of really good players and really good coaches. But I began to see that the key to the league and the success of the league could almost be traced back to John Hudson, the commissioner, and all that he did to make our league better and make each school in the league better. And he helped start the league 30-some years ago and helped continue to grow the league and improve things, and all during that time never took a penny. And as I've gotten to know John and his wife Janet over the years, that's kind of a common theme. They're always giving and never taking. The number of people that they help beyond basketball in many walks of life is kind of amazing. So I think John is well deserving of this honor. In fact, I can't think of anybody better to be rewarded with the Lifetime Achievement Award from small college basketball. So congratulations, John, and thanks for all you've done for all of us over the years.
I've known John Hudson for 47 years. We met in 1971 when I arrived at Oklahoma Baptist University as a transfer from Crowder College to play basketball for the Bison. Those of us who have been engaged with him over the years have found that we are drawn alongside him because of his commitment to us, and through us, his commitment to the game that has translated now into a literal lifetime of commitment and has resulted in this Lifetime Achievement Award.
John is a great lover of small college basketball. He has a record of attending the NAIA National Tournament in Kansas City for over 50 years. Anytime you see small college basketball played in the state of Oklahoma or any of the surrounding area, you're liable to see John at the games. John, we're proud of you. We're glad you won the first Lifetime Achievement Award for small college basketball. You are as deserving as anyone I know. Thank you.
Well, folks, where's Janet? So I want to thank Janet and her team, and Courtney, and Garrett, and everybody who's helped for putting this event together. So let's come give them a big hand. Thank you. And of course, our PR folks who are here, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And in just a little bit, I will introduce the man behind the vision, Mr. David Owen. But I want to, if I may, just flip the script a little bit and go ahead and introduce everybody who's here today and recognize people who are here today. We've got some faculty who are here today, and we're from our business school and from the Gortney Institute. So if you all could stand over there so we can recognize, we've got our interim dean of the business school, Dr. Mary Lou, and everybody knows Dr. Ross McCullough and Dr. Peter Jacobson are here, and any other faculty who are here today. So let's give them a big hand. Thanks. And then we do have coaches here today. I'd like to go ahead and recognize and thank you. So if you're a coach, please stand up so we can recognize you. Thank you. So Professor Wren, when I introduced faculty, you did not. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. And we have quite a few people who are in administration. So we got some admissions folk, and we got people from the Frederickson Institute and from the IT. Please stand so I can recognize and give you a big, big thank you. And we got PR. Please just go ahead and stand. Tana and your team, and Chaplain, thank you. And I know she's already stood up, but folks, we got to recognize our esteemed athletic director. She's here today. We like our athletic director, and we celebrate her. Thank you for everything you do. One of the busiest women in the KCAC, probably in Kansas, our athletic director, Arabi Kona. Come on, show her some love, everybody. Now, just so you can kind of get to know who's here today. Today we've got some basketball players. So if you're a basketball player and you're on a basketball team, please stand up so we can recognize you. Come on, Rev. Last I checked, you were still playing basketball. All right, thanks. And where are the women basketball players? Do we have any here? Did I? Oh, stand up. Please, yes. Thank you, thank you. Now, John, we also have so that they can help celebrate their native son, from Oklahoma. We got all athletes from Oklahoma who are here. And if you're from Oklahoma, please stand. All right. Yeah, when I lived in Oklahoma, we used to make fun of Kansas. But now that I live in Kansas, I will just, keep it to myself. But it involved I-35. We used to say the only good thing to come out of Kansas is I-35 South. But then I moved here, and people told me, to not only stop saying that, but to stop even thinking that. But so good for everybody to be here today. And once in a while, we get the pleasure of hosting a speaker and somebody who, has poured many, many years into institutions and students like yourself. And that's why we're having this event today. But we cannot have this event without the vision of a couple. That's Mr. David Owen and his lovely bride and everybody who's been behind. He has been involved with these institutions since the 60s. I didn't want to say which 60 exactly, right? Since the 60s, and has served on several boards for this institution. And not only has he served on several boards and continues to be a philanthropist and continues to play a critical role in a lot of things that we do here. And in most ways, he becomes a go-to person on several projects, whether it's occasionally when we're in a fundraising project or capital campaign, and we need him to go talk to certain people. And I know the advancement team have certainly enjoyed being able to just call you and knowing that, you'll step up and just help and assist with everything. So some years ago, he had a vision, and the vision was to recognize leaders and outstanding individuals. And I will read what the mission of the David C. Owen Leadership Institute is, which is to empower students, faculty, staff, alumni, and the Ottawa University community at large, and to engage in self-discovery and development of leadership talents and opportunities through, listen to this, value-based programs and activities. The Institute sponsors many of the Leadership Matters workshops, hosts renowned business speakers, and will carry its message to other countries as a way of sharing the Ottawa experience abroad. And many of you know that there is a certain spirit on this campus. We call it the Ottawa spirit. And this is a very unique institution in so many ways, so many first and so many only. We have the longest, John McCarthy, we have the longest ongoing student newspaper in the United States. Our student newspaper has been going since 1869, and it's been nonstop. We have one of the longest acting Black Students Union in the United States. They started a meeting on this campus in 1972, formally the chapter in 1972, and has been meeting since, uninterrupted for many, many years. We also have little interesting tidbits. The founder of basketball, Dr. Naismith, taught health and physical education here in the summers of the early 1900s, 1905, 1906. He was teaching at KU, and he would come and teach here during the summers. Lots of interesting things. Many people have left this institution, graduated, and gone on to do things like becoming ambassadors of other countries to other nations. We've had professional athletes. We've had people become chancellors of universities. And we've had lieutenant governors. Who's right here. Mr. David Owen served as lieutenant governor of this great state. So you're in good grounds, and these are hallowed grounds, and this is a very noble and special place. And those that come to this place, we trust that when you leave this place, you take the Ottawa spirit, which is one of inclusivity. We welcome everyone here, and we love everyone, but it's also one of integrity, excellence, and we encourage everyone to do the same for others and go out into the world and show them what you got. Past today, I know that Mr. Owen is going to come in and later and recognize our speaker, and we'll tell you a little bit about that. But without further ado, I just really, wondered if we may prevail upon you, John Hudson, to just come and give a greeting, some comments to who you've got in the room. And there might be one or two kids from Oklahoma who might have questions for you, if you would be so kind. Well, please welcome Mr. John Hudson.
I thought I just got through speaking. What have you done to me? It's really a privilege to receive this recognition and honor today. I don't know where Reggie's came up with this idea, but anyway, thank you so much, sir. I'm really honored as I've learned about the David Owen Leadership Institute and what you guys are doing here, and I really appreciate your putting this effort forward, and it sounds like it's been something of a labor of love for a long time. But most of you guys I see most of the guys that were in the room the other while ago, and I'm not going to bore you with some of those stories that we had a while ago. Some of them were over the top, but I said earlier, I think it was maybe 25 or 30 years ago when I was on this campus one time, but I can't believe the changes that have been made here. This is an amazing place, all the facilities, and I know there's plans for more, but you guys are fortunate to be able to get to go to a school that takes all this so seriously. And I want you to know that when you're going through that journey we were talking about before, there's a lot of twists and turns, and you never know where it's going to go. But keep the faith, follow your dream, and you never know what's going to happen. That's what I've always believed. And don't anybody ever tells you can't do something. That's the one thing that's probably spurred me on more than anything in my life is when something looks like a pretty impossible task, whatever it is, and somebody says, no way you're going to be able to do that. Well, then that always makes me think, well, I'm going to show them, I'm going to make sure I'm going to do it just so I can prove I did it. And of course, then back to my comment in the meeting. So then you got to remember to be kind, not to be right. When you're right, you need to still be kind about it. So anyway, like I said, it's just an honor to be here today. I'm trying to stay away from anything I talked about earlier, and my life has been blessed beyond means in being able to be around college athletics, college campuses, dealing with students, athletes, coaches, administrators. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been a labor of love doing what I've done for a long, long time. And I've had people ask me, why the guy on the radio a while ago was wondering, why did you do this for 38 years? And I said, I don't know. It just seemed like, well, I ought to be doing, Said, who was going to do it if I didn't do it? I mean, I'm sure they would have found somebody, and they did, but it was all great. So thank you for having me. If you guys have anything you want to come up, I'm going to be here, and after the deal's over, come by and say hello. I'm glad to visit with any of you, and anything I can do to help anybody. I can't get you a part in a movie, just so you know, on the record, or a TV show. Seriously, you wouldn't believe how many people I get. People call me and say, you think I could get like a walk-in role, or could we do that? No. I'm the lawyer. I don't get involved in the creative side, so I stay away from all that. But tickets for an NBA game? Maybe. But it's a lot of fun. Like I said, it's kind of like nobody gets to do what I get to do. Nobody gets to have as much fun as I get to have, and going from New York to California to Atlanta to Chicago. I mean, I'm all over the globe. And back before the pandemic, my routine was to get up either on Monday afternoon or evening or early Tuesday morning. I'd fly to Atlanta, and I've got an office in Atlanta. I'd be there a couple of days. Then I would either fly back to Oklahoma City and then on to Los Angeles, or I would just fly nonstop to Los Angeles. Or about once a month, I'd fly to New York. And I've got clients that I do their banking in New York. And so I've been fortunate enough to get to hang around with people who were successful, and they need somebody to help them with some of the things, including banking, which you were telling me about your banking career. I'm not going to tell you I don't know very much about it, but I'm smart enough to find somebody that knows something about it. And one of the highlights of my career, I was in a meeting in New York City one time at Chase, at what's now JP Morgan Chase, and we were in a conference room, about 6 or 7 guys, and Jamie Dimon walks in. For those of you who don't know, Jamie Dimon's the CEO and chairman of JP Morgan Chase Bank, has been for a long time. He's a really outstanding guy and a banker. So he walks in, and he's going around the room and shaking hands with these guys. And I'd actually met him 3 or 4 years earlier at a similar meeting one time. And he comes up to me and says, oh, yeah, I know you're the guy from Oklahoma, right? I said, yeah, how do you know that? This guy probably the most powerful banker in the country, or at least certainly one of them. But anyway, so who gets to do that from a little hole-in-the-wall town in Oklahoma? I mean, it's just crazy. But, I just enjoy my life. And like I said, I've got a We've got a great family and 3 daughters. Didn't get the privilege of having a son to coach or teach anything, so I had to teach my girls how to play basketball. And they laughed at me all the time and said, "Dad, leave us alone. We're good. We got it." But it's been a great deal, and I'm still in the middle of it. I quit traveling as much with the pandemic, and I realized that travel's pretty inefficient. I used to think it was nothing to it, going somewhere and getting on a plane, but driving to the airport and then getting from the parking to the terminal and going through security and then waiting for your plane and getting on a plane and going somewhere and then doing the same thing on the other end to get wherever you're going, there's a lot of dead time in there. And one of the beauties of living in the middle of the country like you guys do here, like I do in Oklahoma, is that my phone starts ringing with East Coast business from Atlanta or New York or in between sometime around 6:30 or 7 every morning, because it's an hour later on the East Coast. At night, I'm still doing calls at 10 or 10:30 because the West Coast guys are calling in, so and everything. So being in the middle of the country, it's a lot quicker to get to California or to the East, and you can make your day longer and get more done. So there's a lot of benefits to living in this part of the world, as opposed to, people always say, "Why don't you live in L.A. or why don't you live in Atlanta or why don't you live in New York?" So I like where I live. I grew up in Oklahoma, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfect. It's right in the middle. That's what I say. And you guys are right in the middle here too. So anyway, thank you for having me. I'll be around after this deal. Come by and say hello. Thank you very much. Here we go. Q&A from Dr. Reggie.
I got a question. So here I am. We're playing hypotheticals, right? I'm a D1 college student, and I'm playing, and I'm doing very well in basketball, and I'm getting noticed on a national scale. How does my path cross with John Hudson? What happened? How on earth? This is somebody who was being watched on TV by almost everybody, and we watched them play, in the tournament, and all of a sudden, you got something to do with them. How does somebody like that, a coach, how do those paths cross, John?
Absolutely crazy, isn't it? It makes no sense. Okay. I've only got 2 NBA clients. I actually got a coach who was an assistant coach for several years with an NBA team that I represent, but 2 players. Okay. The first player that I represented was just 2016. That was when he came out. He was the #1 draft pick in 2016. But true story, my younger brother recruited his father to come to Oklahoma to play small college basketball from the Bronx in New York City. Amazing story. So my brother recruits this guy to come to Oklahoma. He plays small college basketball in Oklahoma. Then he moves on. He wasn't good enough for the NBA. Went to Europe, played a while. Went to South America, played a while. Ended up in Australia, playing professional ball in Australia. Down there, he meets a girl who already had some family and had some kids, and they got married and had a couple of kids, and the youngest one happened to be a basketball player and was 6'10". So my brother, who recruited the dad years ago, every year would go to Australia, to Melbourne, Australia, and spend a week with them and hang out, just hanging. He'd send me pictures, and he'd say, "Here I am with Dave's son, and he's 8 years old, and then he's 10 years old, and he's 12 years old." And he kept getting taller and taller and taller. And then he ended up going to prep school in Florida for a couple of years, his junior and senior year of high school. So the dad was the connection with my brother, not me. What about me at all? And the father called me the year he started school, his first year of college, and he said, at LSU, for the record, and he said, "Hey, I don't know anything about the NBA, how it all works. Would you be willing to just talk to me on the phone every once in a while and answer questions?" And I said, "Sure." I didn't know him like my brother did. I'd met him a couple of times. That was it. So we started talking on the phone that season. 1 year he was there at school. The rest is history. He played the last game. Said, "Would you come down to see us in Baton Rouge, Louisiana?" Jumped on a plane, went down there, and the rest is history. The rest is history.
So, John, right here we have somebody who guarded your client and played a little ball with your client. So, Jamie, you want to get up and say something? Jamie's from Australia. Come on. Yeah.
I think it was 20 points, but I'm 6 years older than him.
So Jamie played ball here, and also, he's also one of our assistant coaches.
Growing up, he was like 5 years younger than me, played in high school and things like that. So I know his sister pretty well, not pretty well, but kind of well. But yeah.
You ever heard of a guy named Lindsey Gaze?
I know Lindsey Gaze. Yeah.
Okay. Andrew Gaze? My first connection with that was Lindsey Gaze put a team together and came to the U.S. back in the late 70s to play, just play some games. You know, they played for about 2 or 3 weeks. Started in California, played Ben Foster's team out there, and they moved around, came into Oklahoma and played a few games. And that's how I met Lindsey Gaze. Well, the guys in my conference, including Jim Poteet, decided, well, why don't we do a team like that and do, instead of doing one school, we'll just do an all-star team from the Center Athletic Conference. And Lindsey said, if we come to Australia, he'd get us some games. So we put a team together and sent them to Australia, and they went down there and played 3 weeks worth of basketball. And Lindsey Gaze is Mr. Basketball of Australia, big-time guy. So.
Wow, good. Thank you. Thank you. That's the only question. So we're going to ask you to stay on the stage, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce Mr. David Owen, the founder of the Owen Leadership Institute. He's going to hear some remarks and a presentation to make to you. Please.
Well, thank you very much. I'm really delighted to be here and to be able to meet John and make this award. But I want to tell you, I don't need an intro to be in the movies. I've already been there.
Good for you.
And I'll tell you the story. I was in Washington, D.C. one day, and a bunch of us went over to watch a movie called Dave being filmed. And the director looked over there and said, I need somebody that looks like a senator. You look like one. Come over here. And so he put me in the movie and told me to say 3 words. And since that time, I've been a member of the Screen Actors Guild, and I get checks every time that movie's shown.
Good for you.
So, but one of the missions of this Leadership Institute is to recognize outstanding leadership by individuals who, through their dedication and commitment, make extraordinary things happen. And our honoree today, John Hudson, is an excellent example of that very thing. As founder and commissioner of the Sooner Athletic Conference, he impacted the lives of thousands of student athletes and their coaches over the 38 years that he led that organization. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to meet and talk with some of the most influential people in the country. And it always amazes me when the conversation turns to sports, they always refer to their coaches still as coach, and with a great deal of admiration and respect, and rightfully so. In my opinion, coaches perhaps have more influence on young athletes than almost anyone else in their lives. So we thank you, John, for the years that you spent fostering that kind of environment in the organization that you created. And you're going to join some interesting people as a recipient of this award. The very first one was Viktor Yushchenko, president of Ukraine, who led the Orange Revolution in that country against the political corruption that was going on, in spite of the fact that Vladimir Putin's henchmen tried to murder him. He was on our campus, and he received the very first award of this kind. Colonel Ed Hubbard was my high school classmate. He received our award for his leadership as a POW for 6.5 years in the Hanoi Hilton, along with Senator John Glenn. The leadership that he exhibited in that horrible situation was really exemplary. And I'm sure none of you were there. Some of the teachers and administrators might have been there when he was speaking. But I'll tell you, he closed that meeting by inviting the student body to stand up and sing God Bless America a cappella. I've never seen anything quite like it. Wayne Simeon, the great KU basketball coach, or basketball player who won an NBA title with the Miami Heat and then he retired, came back to KU, started a campus ministry called Call to Greatness that's impacted countless lives on that campus and in other campuses as well. Wayne has been here and spoken to our athletes several times, and always, always very impactful. And by the way, he was just named Assistant Athletic Director at KU. So John, we want to recognize you today. Dr. Reg, if you'll come up here too, we want to give you the David Sion Leadership Institute Award for Outstanding Leadership. And we are proud to have you on the list.
Stand here for
yes, we get over here for a better picture. We're proud to have you on the list as one of our recipients.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So, folks, I was going to say, hey, tune in next time. I'll tell you how I taught Mike Tyson how to fight. And no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But, folks, it's so good to have you guys here. And you heard about the word small college basketball, small college basketball, small college basketball. Well, there's an organization that has dedicated itself just to recognizing and keeping the vision and keeping the recognition and highlighting the importance and the contribution that small college basketball makes to the overall development of college students. We have the founder, John McCarthy, in our midst. I want you to come and just greet everybody, since you don't often come here. So please welcome John McCarthy. Tell us a little bit about small college basketball.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect this, but I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. It's my first time on campus, and it's a thrill to be here. I've known Araby for a number of years. It's just a thrill to be here with you today. To make this relatively short, we built this platform to serve all college basketball that is non-NCAA Division I, and we've now morphed to the point where we've created the Hall of Fame in America, the Hall of Fame Classic, the National Award Show for college basketball, the Alumni Association, and I can tell you that more is coming. We just announced the creation of the Champions Classic, which will begin November 18th, 19th of 2022. And there's another couple big announcements we'll be making on November 5th at our Hall of Fame induction this coming year in St. Joe at the Missouri Theater in St. Joe, Missouri coming up. But I appreciate the opportunity to just say a couple words to let you know what we're doing. If you have any interest in what we're doing, please just go to smallcollegebasketball.com, smallcollegebasketball.com. Follow us along on the blog, on Twitter, on the website, etc. But we're very excited for this upcoming season, and frankly, I'm looking forward to watching you guys play this season once again. And thank you for the opportunity to be here today. It's a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And talking about, not to put him on the spot, talking about opportunity, we welcome the opportunity to recruit your son to be an Ottawa University Brave. And we await that day when he comes to visit. Is that a deal?
I'll tell you what, you're good. you're really good.
We are trying to recruit his son to come here, right? And John, no pressure. But everybody was watching. No pressure. He'll fit right in here, and we'll look after him, won't we? Right? Yep. See? Everybody say, yep. And folks, and before we dismiss, I just want to recognize a few more people. Then I'm going to call the Rev to come and close in prayer for us, and then we're going to dismiss. Got a few coaches, and this year, folks, at some point, we will be celebrating. Who's on the esports team? Esports team. I know we got a few people. So you guys represent esports. Stand up, guys. Okay. As you know, our esports team, both the black and gold met in the national final for COD, and we won the national championship. So congratulations. So they brought home the trophy. Most of you did not know that, right? And then that sport that has hit this campus like a wave and has energized all of us on this campus, flag football. So I want to recognize our coaches. Coach Liz and Coach Kate are here today, so please stand. Let's recognize you. And congratulations on bringing the national championship trophy. It was a foggy morning that day when I waited for the bus to arrive, and they handed me the trophy, and I did one of those Lion King Mufasa move, and I handed it up there, and I sang that African song. And I handled that baby, and that baby came home, and it's been here since. And so congratulations. Thank you so much for doing this, folks. Love you so much. And Rev, why don't you come over and bless everybody and dismiss us. Welcome the Rev, everybody.
One more thing that I'd like to ask before we close. I would like all of us, and this is a personal note, I didn't tell Reg this. Guys, I had a rough summer. I ended up having open heart surgery. Didn't expect it. I've never said this to you guys because I don't think I realized it. But I have to tell you, you students really do keep me young. And for whatever reason, since I'm back, I really appreciate what you're doing every day here. Not just what we're doing, because it really fuels why I think I'm here. And I just wanted to tell you, this is my first event back. I've only been back to work about 2 weeks. Thank you. Thank you. Because you do more to touch old men like me than you'll ever know. God bless you.
Thank you. Well, Chaplain. Right back at you. Right? We love our chaplain. Thank you. Rev, why don't you go ahead and close in prayer.
Let's bow our head, close our eyes. Lord God, we thank you for this opportunity that you have given us, oh God. God, I pray that that we fellowship with you, and we thank you for this gathering. God, I pray that as we leave this place, that we come with joy, with peace, and love. It's in Jesus' name that I do pray. Amen.